welcome to the People of Dubai podcast with myself, Annie, and my lovely host, Holly.
Hello.
This week I'm really nervous because we're interviewing like the best interviewer in Dubai.
A presenter.
Welcome, Nimi Mehta.
Thank you guys so much. And I love that you say the best interviewer in Dubai. I'm so here for it. Only my mum calls me that, so it's an honour.
Girl.
Yeah, I know. Girls, thank you so much for having me on.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It's nice to
Thank you for
finally
coming
get you
on.
on the podcast.
Yeah, I know, finally.
So, Nimi, you are a you're a TV presenter. You used to be on the radio.
Yeah.
You obviously interview and were you a journalist before? Did
Yeah,
you do
I have a
anything?
journalism degree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I want to also dive into the amount of people that you've interviewed and all the cool stories there.
Yeah.
Some big names.
And you have your own business speaker.
Yes.
Is that the company name?
Yeah, it is. I'm so excited for that as well, which I'm sure we'll dive into.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But can we just talk about what you did this morning?
I know. Girls, you have caught me in possibly the best few hours of my life so far, because this morning I got to interview Miss Jada Pinkett Smith. Woo! Yay!
That's a big, big moment.
I know.
I can feel the endorphins.
I know. Your
Can
energy's
you?
off the charts right now.
It was amazing. You know, you get that call. I got the call 2 weeks ago do you want to interview Jada? And I was like, absolutely. But unfortunately, she wasn't doing in live interviews because she's based in LA right now. So they said it's going to be Zoom, which is more nerve-wracking.
Yeah, because you can't read someone as well, can you?
Exactly. Imagine us even doing this, it would feel quite disconnected. So you have to work extra hard to make sure you make that connection with someone via Zoom.
At
But
least you could still wear your pajamas.
exactly. Bottom half was just
Fake white background.
Yeah, exactly. But it was amazing. It was just, she's such a strong woman and she's such an advocate for so many things. And she's had a lot of controversy around her.
Can you give us a little bit of a teaser of what you spoke about in this interview?
Yeah, absolutely.
'Cause she's a hot topic.
She's everywhere right now.
Yeah.
You turn on Instagram, you'll just see stuff about her all the time.
So are you, Nimi. You're everywhere right now as well.
Hey, I'll
Duo
take that.
powerhouse.
Yeah, I know. Me and Jada, I'll take that. What do we talk about? So we spoke about the Oscar incidents with her ex-husband, or they're separated now, with Will Smith. And, she was so open about it and she was so honest. And, she spoke about how she was healing from that moment. And then she spoke about, her recent news about them actually separating in the first place, which no one knew.
I was shocked when you said that, yeah.
And no one knew about it. And, people were giving her so much rubbish the last few years about, she's this, she's that kind of wife. And she's just taken over her narrative now, and she's leading the conversation on herself. And I respect that so much. Just we're regular Joes, and the people talk about us, in our communities or amongst friends or whatever it is. She's dealing with it on a huge scale.
Yeah. Because that instant, for our listeners who don't know, it was when at the Oscars, Will Smith slapped
Chris Rock.
And it wasn't staged.
It was not staged, which everyone thought it was staged.
Yeah.
But he said a joke about Jade.
Yeah.
And he said, keep
my wife's name out
of your mouth.
Yeah.
And it just was global. It even was on the British news,
Yeah.
newspapers.
Everywhere.
It was everywhere.
I mean, people are still talking about it now. We're talking about it now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was such a moment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And she just opened up about the healing process after that for their family and for Will, for her. So it was just amazing. I got 10 minutes with her, but it was just the best 10 minutes ever.
Amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Smashed it, girl.
Thanks.
Well
you
done.
also, Tyra Banks.
Yes.
You've interviewed her.
Yeah.
And Jay Shetty.
What's she like? I love her.
Yeah, Tyra
I'm a
was
huge fan.
Really? Are you? Okay, that's really good to know, because I grew up just idolising her.
Me too.
Right? And watching her
huge name.
show. She's a huge name. She was supermodel turned TV host. She had the Tyra Banks show where she was interviewing the biggest stars in the world. She really embodied confidence for me.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Do you know when she became on my I obviously, again, you just knew who she was. She was absolutely stunning, supermodel name. But she just went against the grain about really press and body weight and how you should look.
Absolutely.
And it's incredible what she's done and how open she was about it.
Totally.
On her own show.
She's unapologetically herself. And I think
Beautiful
that
way
us
to
as
put it.
and I think us as women, we need people like that to look up to.
Absolutely.
I think she was one of the first.
Yeah, she was.
Really,
I think she was.
To be like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to edit or Photoshop my photos and things like that. And then I noticed a lot of other celebrities doing it. So she kind of really started that.
She's a trailblazer, I think. And you know, they say like, don't meet your idols because you just don't know what you're going to get.
Yes.
So I was really nervous because I was like, oh,
Please don't ruin this.
yeah, please. I have this
Did
like
you meet her in
amazing,
person?
okay. We were sat in Dubai and we had the conversation. And before the interview had even started, she was just like, oh, I love your outfit. And she was just like hyping me up like anything. So imagine like Tyra Banks is like complimenting you. And I was like, felt like I was on top of the world.
That's amazing.
I was like, she's just so nice. Like she didn't need to say that.
Yeah.
So luckily, every experience I've had with a celebrity has been really, really positive.
And
Do you
Jay
go in with
Shetty. I want to talk about
Oh,
Jay
yeah,
Shetty.
sorry,
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
go on.
Let me have my moment.
Yeah, go on, go on.
Tyra. Yeah. You interviewed. It was his world tour, wasn't it? And you interviewed Jay Shetty.
Yeah, I hosted the stage for his world tour.
Incredible.
I know. He is phenomenal. He is probably one of the best human beings I've ever met in my life.
Do you not feel really calm around him? Like, just every time you listen to his voice, you just think, wow, amazing.
You know, those people that just have, like, exude that energy of, like, purity. They inspire you. He's such a, close friend of mine as well. I was just in LA staying at his house for 2 weeks. And he deserves everything he has. And just being around him, I'm so lucky I get to call him and be like, okay, I need advice. Give me 1, 2, 3. I mean, the world gets it through his podcast, but it's just great to be around people like that.
Well done, girl.
Thank
You've got
you.
some amazing names. And I'm
Thank
sure so many more to come as well.
I hope so. I
So
really
many more to
do.
come.
I really do hope so.
How do you go in, like, with interviewing such big names? Do you have, like, a list of questions? Because you are a leader. Like, kind of interviewing someone is an art.
Yeah, it is.
It really is, to kind of make sure you get that information out of them. But also, before we were recording, as you were very high on, like, your integrity of, like, being a journalist and interviewing.
Yeah.
But how do you go about that?
Yeah. I don't really like to approach interviews with trying to get something juicy out of people, because I don't think that that's what they would want to do either. You know, I'm not looking for clickbait headlines or like, I want people to watch my interview, so I'm going to say something quite scandalous. So I always try to find the human in every single person I interview. And before actually we even start recording, what I like to do is really make them feel comfortable. If that's in person, that is telling them a personal story about myself, or telling them when I first heard about them or encountered them. And what that does is that kind of eases us in before the interview's even started. With Gary Vee, I spoke to him about, you know, oh, by the way, my dad saw one of your videos and XYZ. And that was before the interview. And instantly he felt a connection with me, right? It's about that personability. It's about creating that one-to-one connection. And that, I feel like, really sets the tone for the whole interview. Like, even like me coming into this studio with you guys today, the big hugs that I got from you girls, and like chatting instantly, what that's done is like instantly put us into like a great tone.
I feel like we know each other.
Yeah,
We are.
exactly.
We're gonna be besties by the end of this.
Exactly. We already are.
We're gonna come to LA with you. Inside of the world of Nimi.
Yeah, but the interview process is tough. I always have my questions that I definitely know that I want to get away, but it's always done in a way and put in a way where I'm trying to get the best human out of them, essentially.
Of course.
Yeah.
So going back to Nimi, when you moved to Dubai, how long have you been here?
I've been here for 7 years now. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And I always knew you originally from being a Channel 4 breakfast presenter on the radio.
Yeah.
Miss your voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell us about that. How did that begin?
Yeah, that was interesting. I was unemployed in London. I had just got out of a contract with MTV, and I was hosting for MTV UK for 1 year. And imagine, I was like 23 and I thought I'd made it. And I thought like, this is it. I'm an MTV presenter
Living
now.
your best life.
Yeah. I literally thought, no one can touch me. Mum, delete my number. I'm famous now. Like, don't even
Welcome
look
to
at me.
Migrant.
Yeah, exactly. And then everything went away. Like, I was unemployed. I didn't have any opportunities out there. And then I decided to go into radio and started like dabbling a bit in it locally. And then I put a demo ahead to Radio 1 in Abu Dhabi. And they seemed to love it. And they were just like, will you host our breakfast show? And we're talking...
The breakfast show is the big one.
The big one.
That's the one everyone wants, right?
The big one. And I would love to say that I, have been in radio for years and I put in the work and I put in the graft, because I know so many of my peers have. I think I was just an anomaly and an exception where I just went from literally nothing to hosting a national breakfast show. So
I think you have the energy though. Like you have the energy and the drive.
Yeah.
Like I can just read that from you already.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, and the bubbly voice, like you need that in the morning.
Oh gosh. It was tough though. I'll tell you that, girls. Waking up every morning at 4 a.m. It's a lifestyle choice.
It is.
Yeah.
And you went from Radio 1 and then you moved to Channel 4.
Yeah.
And then how long were you there for?
I was there for 5 years.
Okay.
And it was the best 5 years of my life. It's so much fun just being you girls know, being with one of your best friends and just chatting to your best friend and working with your best friend. It's just, I got to do that with JJ every morning. We chat so much rubbish every morning.
Tell us the secret about JJ. Go on, spill the tea.
Yeah. Oh God, he is the most clammiest, sweatiest person ever.
Sorry, JJ.
Yeah. He's just gross.
I've been in the Channel 4 radio studio and it is hot.
It is, yeah.
It's like a little
it's a little sauna box.
Yeah.
It was literally
But
sauna.
I didn't know if it was my nerves because it was like the first time I've been on in the studio and on radio.
Yeah.
So hats off to you.
Thank you.
It's a lot. You've got to think. You've got to be like on the ball.
All the time. The way I kind of describe it is like, our normal 9 to 5 jobs, right? And we exude that energy from 9 to 5. But on radio, when you've got a show that's literally like 3-4 hours and I feel like that energy is compressed into those hours. So after the shows, we're exhausted. You have to be on no matter how you're feeling. If you're on your period, if you're feeling rubbish, if you just have a fight with someone, it doesn't matter. The second that microphone goes up, you are the happiest person because your voice and your energy affects the country's energy, essentially.
How do you know what to talk about? Do you plan that?
Well, no, we were told we're supposed to, but me and JJ kind of found our own funk. Like, it's the energy and the chemistry we had between us where we were just so lucky. And luckily we created a community of like regular people.
Yeah.
We never wanted to be a show that was all about celebrities and being all flashy and stuff.
Like, good morning, what did you have for dinner last night?
Yeah, literally. Or we'd go on the show and like talk about like a fight that I had with my partner the night before, and then we'll put it out to the audience, like
who won? Who was meant to be the person?
Exactly. And my husband's a dentist, and so his patients would be in his chair and they'd look at him and be like, so did you apologise? And he was like, what did you say on the radio this morning?
Well, I asked my partner, because I own a bridal boutique, and the radio presenter said, are you married? And I was like, no. And I was like, but he needs to get the hint. And I literally was listening.
Might as well put that on the Burj Khalifa.
Yeah, literally. Well, as long as he got the message.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I also WhatsApped him to remind him of what she said on the radio.
Good.
What's your funniest story of like what happened on a radio?
Oh my God.
In your radio career? I suppose you must have so many.
We've had so many, we've messed up a lot of times. Obviously, we're very careful. We have to be very careful with the words and stuff we say, and of course in the context in which we say it, because we're representing. And actually, it wasn't me that slipped up. As you can imagine, it was JJ. It's probably his story to tell, but I was there, so I'll tell you anyway. We did this challenge of like trying to break world records on the radio, and so we had that bread and we were trying to butter bread as many slices as we could in 30 seconds. It was so messy. This was in a radio studio, and JJ decided, well, he didn't decide, but it just slipped out, and he swore and he said the F word live across the country.
No.
And
the fear.
We all just like looked at each other, and I tried to like cover it up and whatever. And that was it. We were like, he's out, he's deported, he's done, the show is over.
Yeah.
And luckily no one heard it.
By the way, now let's just dob it in.
Now we can talk about it. But no one heard it. And we were like, well, that just means no one's listening to our show, which probably isn't a good thing. But we didn't get caught.
You probably lost them at buttering bread.
Yeah.
Great.
Or they love you too much. They're like, we're not going to dob them in.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to be.
You could tell we were struggling for content, okay?
Let's butter some bread today.
Yeah, exactly. But that was probably like the most memorable, I reckon.
So had you always wanted to be like a I don't know, I suppose a media personality if you were in MTV Young.
Yeah. You know, so I was a semi-professional tennis player growing up. So
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, from the age of like 13 through to 18. So I was traveling the world playing tennis, representing Great Britain. And
That's incredible.
Yeah, I didn't really have I don't feel like I had a normal childhood, like socially, you know?
Yeah.
Because whilst my friends were going out to the clubs till whatever o'clock, I was waking up at 4 a.m. to train. And
You were in Wimbledon.
yeah, I wish. I was definitely spectating. I wish I was on those courts. And so discipline was always something that I was instilled in me from a super, super young age. And then I kind of fell out of love with tennis. You know, it's kind of like burnout. When you've been playing it for so many years, you kind of you decide, I don't want to do it anymore. And I hit 18. That's when everyone was going to university. And I was like, I just want to be normal. I just want to be a normal
so let's
girl.
go on TV.
Yeah. I just want to go to MTV. So I did journalism. And I actually wanted to go into like, what's it called? In magazines and stuff. Like I wanted to create my own magazine, an editorial. Then the digital boom kind of happened. And so then I went more towards broadcasting and the digital side of things. And I've kind of like just realized that, oh my gosh, I can speak and I have this confidence too. But it was all in the comfort of like my own room. You know, I was doing YouTube videos from my room and I realized that person in front of the camera is not the person that you meet day to day. Like socially, I was still so awkward.
It's really funny you say that. I feel like that when I'm in the studio and I meet new people and I could talk to people. Put me in a room full of people I don't know and I will just stand there by myself. I can't network like that. And it's funny that you say that.
It's weird, isn't it? Because say, for example, if I was to meet you or I was to watch this podcast and listen to your podcast, I would think, wow, she's so confident, she's amazing. And so if I was to see you out in a room, I'd come up to you and hug you just because I feel like I know you.
Yeah.
But then that's not, it's like a part of you.
It's weird. That's so
such
funny.
I feel like we all hold such different faces and it doesn't necessarily invalidate some of the faces. Like I don't want to say I'm faking it when I'm in front of the camera, because that is truly me. It's just a different version of me that I'm getting more comfortable with.
So then you went from radio and now you're on TV.
Yeah, now
How's
I'm on
that
TV.
going?
Oh, guys. Well, TV was always the dream, right? And radio was kind of like a stepping stone towards it. And it's been amazing. I mean, I've been doing it since January, so it's been like almost a year now. And TV's just another world. I love the adrenaline of like, we're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I love like, you know, someone in my ear all the time. It's just that pressure.
Oh God, that would drive me mad. I'll have to like pull it out, but like, stop talking about it.
I know. It is difficult.
It's like keeping your face.
It is difficult, but I love it. And
You've got to look. You know, when you're on the radio, at least you don't have to dress up, really.
Oh my God, that's what I struggle with, I'll be honest. And it sounds like such first world problems. But the radio, I used to literally rock up with no makeup on and look hideous. But TV obviously can't do that. It's like full on glam, full on makeup. And it's not normal makeup, right?
It's TV makeup.
Cakey makeup, like TV makeup. Getting your hair done. And that's honestly probably my like least enjoyable.
Do you feel like a Kardashian getting your glam done?
I don't enjoy it, girls. I just don't. Like as soon as I get home, I just want to like take all the makeup off but it's part of it all. It's part of the process. But yeah, TV has just been amazing, and I just want to explore it more and see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean it's endless as well. TV's always going to be TV.
Yeah.
Like with media, we've gone through like the social media element, haven't we? Like the digital boom, but TV will always be there. And I always think like advertisement through TV will just be a thing. Won't it?
Yeah. And you know, I think that it's so important to like explore different versions of you, because I think like me on the radio was so different to me on the TV, and it's just been a childhood dream, and the fact that I'm living it and it's like my actual life.
And you're on billboards.
I know.
You're on billboards. I saw that. I was like,
JBR.
Go, girl.
I know. That's wild, isn't it?
It's amazing.
You
look stunning.
Thank you.
Do you have pinch me moments all the time?
All the time. And I always remind myself that, and this is one of my favorite quotes of all time, it's that I used to pray for what I have now. And I remember those days I was unemployed where I was like literally crying in bed that I believe in myself so much. I just need other people to believe in me.
Yeah.
And now I'm literally living my dream of interviewing some amazing people.
And you're now being interviewed.
And now I'm being interviewed, which is even weirder, which I love, by the way. But I do have these moments. Like Jada this morning was a major pinch me moment, because I think that what we all need to do, no matter what we do in our lives, is kind of like celebrate all of our wins from like small to big, because we are so much further than we ever thought we would be. But I think we all get wrapped up in like the next goal.
We were talking about this yesterday with a guest we had on the podcast, and being entrepreneurs and being, I suppose it's kind of passionate about thriving. You always think about the next goal or the next achievement, rather than being like, I've achieved that one. Let's take a minute and just be like, I've achieved it. I've done it.
And we don't.
back.
We kind of like rush through it.
Yeah.
So I've been really conscious of like slowing down and appreciating the moment, and I'm trying my best.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
And on the side of, because you wear many hats.
Yes.
You really do.
Yeah.
And you obviously are incredible at public speaking, and you have your own business.
Yeah.
Speaker.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, I'm so passionate about it. So you're going to have to stop me talking at some point. But, you know, growing up, I was such an introvert, and I was so shy, and, you know, I'd always be in the corner of the room, didn't want to be spoken to. And I really came out of my shell, like I said earlier, being in front of the camera, being behind the microphone. And I realized that confidence is a skill. We treat it like it's a personality or characteristic trait, but it's not. Confidence is a skill that you need to work to every single day to get confident. And then furthermore, on top of that, confidence isn't something that stays with you. Like, you need to maintain it. So you need to keep doing things every single day to be confident in yourself. And so I realized that, hang on, I did that. This is something that other people can also do. And so I worked with kids a lot when I was on the radio, and we did like school tours and stuff. And the kids' number one question to me was, how are you so confident? I want to talk like you. I want to be like you. And I thought, wow, I wish I had someone like me going round to my school when I was little and talking to me about this, because it's such a human skill that none of us are taught in school.
Absolutely
How
not.
to communicate with people,
And
how
it can
to talk
be
to
so
people.
easily taken away from you.
Totally.
I've known many women and men who have, you know, been so confident, and then like now they've been knocked by so many things.
So many things.
And it's daunting, isn't it? It's so
is,
daunting,
yeah.
standing up, speaking to people, meeting new people.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how you've got to learn those interpersonal skills
Yeah.
and adapt around people that you've not met before, and
Totally.
tailor yourself to different people.
Totally. And I just wish it was like in the curriculum, you know, to be taught to us as kids from a young age, because like the statistics behind having strong communication skills from a very, very young age and the effect it has on mental health, like on a scale of wellness and like being able to express yourself. Like imagine a kid being able to go home and have the tools and the words to express to their parents, I feel XYZ. It could potentially like save lives. You know, it's on that kind of scale. So I'm so passionate about Speaker and, you know, getting it out to the world. And, you know, it's really just to instill character and confidence within people of all ages.
And you cover things like public speaking as well, don't you?
Yeah, because it's really daunting to get up on a stage or even on a Zoom call to a meeting of like 5 people. I understand that it's so not natural for some people, you know?
It's horrible. Like, I can talk for Britain. Honestly, I cannot stop talking sometimes. I talk in my sleep. I talk. But it was about 2 months ago, we were at an event and we had to get up on stage. And I remember it was like they asked other entrepreneurs to go on stage and talk about their business. I know my business. I started my business. I know it inside out. But I got on there, mine went blank. I was talking and I started off well, and like looking back at it, like I could feel my throat like literally like close up, and I was like, this is not me.
Yeah.
This is not me. But it's because it's such a foreign turf.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. And I was like, do you know what? I really need to invest in that and improve on it. So I need your help. What advice would you give me?
You know, there's so many elements.
speaking,
So
I'm
like,
sure.
let's speak about that particular instance, right?
Yeah.
Getting up on stage and talking to a group of people. people think it's just that moment of getting up onto the stage. There is so much before that, right? That needs to be thought about. So diet, for example, what you're eating and drinking before you go up on stage is so important. Foods to avoid, for example, dairy, okay? Dairy, like coffee, caffeine is really, really bad for you.
Yes.
The reason dairy is because it literally creates a thick line of mucus in your mouth.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah. So whenever you speak after that, your mouth is going to move slower and catch slower. So you're more likely to kind of like stumble and not be as smooth in your speaking. Soft drinks, avoid that. Avoid the fizz because it will make you super gassy and stuff inside.
I was drinking Prosecco.
Yeah, that'll do
I was
it.
gonna say,
Girl.
we had about 8 glasses.
Yeah.
And I think I actually had a cheesy starter, so I was set up for failure.
Yeah, everything not to do, she did it. But so yeah, diet. There's like breathing techniques that can be used before you get up on stage.
I think that was my thing. I was talking, and I know that sounds
You weren't
ridiculous,
breathing.
but I weren't breathing.
Yeah.
I literally was like,
She's going
I
blue.
didn't stop. And sometimes you talk really, really, like I talk sometimes so fast just to get it out. And my partner always says, just take a beat.
Yeah.
Just take a beat.
Yeah.
Just breathe. And it will come out better.
And I'm still guilty of that, by the way. I'm still guilty of rushing
Yeah.
on the stage and then like not have done my technique. And there's so many different like varieties that work for people. But I just do the 2-1-2, which is like a quick 2 breaths in and then 1 long one and then a quick 2. And that just resets my body. It resets your nervous system.
Oh, wow.
And you might need to do it 5 times. Like you might need to do 2-1-2 5 times, or you might need to do 1-1-2, you know, whichever works for you. But that just like really sets the tone for you. And then you go on and it changes the game. Try that next time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I always think? This is something that I've taught myself, and I don't know why. Is when you watch someone nervous on stage, you don't listen to what they say. You're thinking, you're feeling for them. Like, I hope this goes quickly for them because
so true.
they're not enjoying it.
Yeah.
So I think when you go on there and you're being confident and you talk loudly, slowly, and kind of like own the room, people listen to you.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go on really like cowardly and no one's actually listening, you're all thinking it's going to be okay. You're kind of
Yeah.
like sympathizing with the person
Yeah.
rather than listening to what they're saying.
Yeah.
So I've always had that in my mind because I hate public speaking. And again, we were at the same event. I probably downed about 5 Prosecco's before I got on that stage just to kind of get that stage fright, you know. And I just
You've done
thought,
so well.
but
You
I
really
couldn't
did.
see anyone. You know, like you black everything out and I
yeah.
couldn't see and I felt like I wasn't breathing either,
Yeah.
talking really quickly. But I just thought if I talk loud and I act confident, people will listen. You're like tricking people. Does
Totally.
that make
It is a form of
sense?
acting, by the
Yeah.
way. It is a form of it. And this is where like an alter ego comes into play because, you know, Beyonce has Sasha Fierce.
Yes.
Yeah. Where she says, that's Sasha Fierce on stage. Eminem has Slim Shady, you know.
Yeah.
What's Nimi's?
Yeah. Oh, God.
You got to think about
I know, we really need to. I can't think of one. Right now, it's just like, my mum calls me TheNimi Mehta as my Instagram name. She's like, oh yeah,
Love it.
TheNimi Mehta. But then we're at home, she calls me Nimo. So like that's kind of like that's when I'm normal. But alter egos like really come into play here. And I feel like we all need to find ours because you being on stage is still you, but it's like this like fiercer version of you. And you kind of just rely and trust that version of you to deliver.
And that's probably the alter ego when we were saying about being in front of the camera, but not being but being in a room and you not knowing what to do and talk to people.
Totally.
And if I was to come to you for speaker for your like company, is it one-on-one with you? And then do you go through all these techniques? Do you go through and like everything from start to finish to improve their like public speaking confidence, everything?
Yeah, so it's like an online course basically, and it's fully me on video giving a full-on rundown of public speaking 101, and I'm giving tips, I'm giving techniques. We work on exercises at the end of each module where, you know, I give practical homework for you all to do in the comfort of your own home. One thing that people hate doing is like recording themselves or hearing their own voice or watching themselves back.
Yes, I'm so guilty of that. It's awful.
But you need to look at it like subjectively, really, because what you're looking to do is improve your skill, right? So don't like cringe at it.
Yeah,
but
when
like,
I listen back to episodes to check they're okay, I'm like, quick, fast forward. I don't want to hear myself.
And we're so self-critical.
Yeah.
And it just in that space, like, I think it's really important to like help people break it down like that, and watching yourself over and over. So what I do with Speaker is that online course. I also work with brands and companies where I go in and do workshops for them. So I recently did one with like Nando's, where I worked with their restaurant managers, and you know, English isn't their first language. So in this part of the region, things can be so like lost in translation and stuff like that. Yeah. So we work on those kind of things. I'm not doing one-to-ones yet. I have had like people come in and ask for them, but maybe I should.
I think you should. You've given me so much advice already.
Yeah.
Maybe I can be your client.
Maybe. Maybe you can be my guinea pig.
Yeah, I love that.
We'll try it.
I love that. Put you on a stage.
Yeah, exactly.
But there is an art to it. And I think if you invest in it, you just, as you said, like even from a young age, you set yourself up. Like,
but it's a skill for life. You really don't know when you're going to need it.
But it's little things which I didn't even think of. Like, you might agree with this or not. But I remember I just started my business and I had a huge sale call, like a big call. And I was sitting down doing it. My partner said, stand up and take the call. And I was like, I'm not like walking around. And he said, you'll come across more confident.
Yes.
They couldn't see me, but they were like, if you stand up and you talk when you're standing up, you're more confident than just sitting down.
Absolutely.
And I was like, I don't know if that's actually true.
No,
but
it's true.
I was pacing. I was like this.
It's 100% true because
steps in.
I mean, the body language. The body language is so important. Like how we just spoke about a shy, timid person coming onto the stage. You can see it instantly, and so like the shoulders back, the chin up, even the way, especially for ladies, like your legs are sometimes crossed when you're standing, or like leaning on one hip. Like we tend to do that.
Yes, I'm doing it now.
Yeah,
and I keep on. I'm like, stop doing that.
You know, these things make such a difference, not just on how people receive you, but on how you receive yourself. Yeah. And if you're able to master the body language side of it and the non-verbal communication side of it, oh my gosh, honestly, you're like, I keep saying this over and over again, but your voice is your greatest asset. And if you're able to master it, there is literally nothing you can't do.
I'm in awe of you. When you're talking, I'm like, yes, so true. Yeah. You've got a really, really good persona, and like, you know, you can hold a room. You can hold, your energy's
thank
good.
you.
I read an amazing quote about a month ago, and it was an American entrepreneur. I didn't know much about him, but he just popped up on my Instagram, and he said, the first 5 words out of your mouth tells everyone who you are. And it's so true, isn't it?
It's so true. And people, obviously, first impression is everything in this world, and people are so quick to judge you. And, you know, one technique I really love to use is just humor. Like, no matter what kind of brand I'm working with, the other day I was working with MasterCard, and it was a room full of corporates. Yeah. And you really want to bring the energy up, because otherwise it gets a bit dull. And so you get on stage and you crack a joke, or you say something that instantly makes you relate to them, and they instantly feel at ease. Like, they receive you so much better. And it is that instant connection that they actually say the first 11 seconds of someone encountering you is what they will base their judgment on of you.
So true.
So there's that pressure, isn't there, to like get in everything in the first 11 seconds. But it's a tough one, and I feel like people need to be a lot more conscious of it when they're connecting with people.
Absolutely. Now, with you wearing so many hats, you know, you're a TV presenter, you're growing your business, interviewing all these celebrities, and many other things. What's your favourite thing to do on your day off, if you even get a day off in Dubai? What do you
Where would we see Nimi?
Oh my gosh, girls, I wish I had something glamorous and fun to say.
Sofa.
Yeah, literally. But I don't want to give that boring answer. So what do I love to do? I love to like exercise. Like, for me, activity is so important. So first thing in the morning, whether it's a walk with the dog, or whether it's going on a hike in Fujairah, whether it's playing tennis or paddle, I really like to just be active because it just sets me up. I need to, I realised, socialise a bit more because I'm just work.
I'm going through the same journey of you.
Yeah, how do you do it? Tell me.
I literally started to just say yes to things and started to think about people I haven't seen in a while. And I'm like, do you know what? I really need to check in with him or her.
Yeah.
And make more of an effort.
We were saying yesterday, life's to be lived.
Yeah.
Rather than, we always focus on work and taking a moment, isn't it? And just thinking, surround yourself and do things that you also enjoy.
Yeah.
But when you enjoy work, it's hard to stop it.
Tough. Yeah, that's where it's tough. It's like, we're so lucky that we get to do what we love, that we don't have any like boundaries with it. And I realized, I think it was like last week, I woke up one morning and I like turned to my husband. I was like, I feel like I'm neglecting you. Like, I feel like I'm not there for
feeling.
you.
It's like guilt, yeah.
It's that guilt. And I don't even
awful.
have kids or anything. So when people talk about mum guilt, I'm like, I feel that with my dog.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah.
I'm always that one that leads to leave the party. Gotta go. Milo's by himself, thinking I just want to be with him.
My dog's Milo too.
Oh.
What dog do you have?
He's like a golden retriever / chow. He looks like a big Andrex puppy. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love
Big,
that.
slobbery and hairy. Literally the 3 things I
Adorable.
did not want in a dog.
And you got it. And you got it. I've got a Shih Tzu, so he's like super low maintenance.
Oh.
It's amazing. But yeah, those kind of things, like I do feel guilty that I'm like neglecting the people in my life. Like, girls, you should see my WhatsApp. I have like 100+ messages unread, and it's just
I do it in the car or on a dog walk, all the voice notes.
and it's so bad because we need to make sure we set that time aside to communicate with the people, because it's not sometimes about us, it's about what they need from us, just like you said.
And you get that guilt if you miss something or if you drop the ball and you're like, oh my goodness, but I just didn't realise that was happening.
I know.
But I find with Dubai, as much as I love this city, it is so fast paced.
It is.
Like everyone's always on the go and we don't realise how sociable it is.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can get a bit burnt out.
Yeah, there's 2 extremes, right? Because when people move over to Dubai, they think we all live this like crazy lifestyle, like that they see on TV and on these movies and stuff. It's like, we're
It's
just
not
regular
true,
people.
guys.
Yeah.
I feel like you do at the beginning. Like
Yes.
you kind of go out and you're saying yes to everything, going to all the restaurants. And then you kind of get to the part in your Dubai life, don't you? I think after COVID, that's when it happened for me, where you just chill out and you think, I don't even know what's going on a Tuesday night anymore. I don't even know where things are, what's open.
Yeah, don't need to.
I get asked all the time, like, where's a good place to go out? I'm
Yeah.
like, China Grill, is that still the
Is that
going?
still a thing? Yeah, I
Shut 5 years
know.
ago.
I know, exactly. But I just feel like I feel like there's a shift in Dubai recently of just like more creative people like us coming together and like actually
Absolutely. The community's amazing.
And I love that. I don't feel like it used to be as progressive as this, and now like even us just sitting here and having this conversation is so amazing. So like I just want to say, like, I really love and appreciate and are so grateful for people who like go out of their way beyond to create something like this, like a podcast like you guys have created, because I like champion you guys so much. So congrats on everything.
Oh, I love that.
Congratulations for all your success.
Thank you.
You're absolutely killing it.
Thank
What's
you.
next for you?
Yeah, what is next? You know, I want to keep building Speaker. The absolute dream would be to work with the Ministry of Education to like implement public speaking within a school
You
curriculum.
heard it here first. I feel like it's going to happen.
There you go. I hope
Manifested
so.
it.
I really hope so, because that would be amazing. And I think it's like, I'm more like in legacy mode now. I think the presenting side is amazing and I love it and it will never stop, but it's not my main focus, because I shifted after I left the radio. I was like, Nimi, what do you want to actually leave behind? Like, what do you actually want to create? And if I'm to have children one day, what do I want them to learn from me? And so this wanting to pass on a skill that I have learned my whole life and self-taught, I hope that one day I'm able to, even if I just help one life to do that, that's my next, I think.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Amazing.
One question we ask all our guests is, what advice would you have given to your younger self?
Guys, you'll make me cry. Just because
I love making food.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, yes, we did it.
I cracked her. Or don't, because you want the dramatic tearful.
Yeah, we want to zoom in on the tear.
Yeah. My gosh, I actually did this like hypnosis therapy thing, like regression therapy the other day, and she
did?
actually made me have a conversation with my younger self. And it was like you visualize your younger self and you're sitting on your childhood bed and you're actually like picking her up. Yeah, and you pick her up and you take her out of the house and you hold her hand. And she said, bring her into your life now. Show her your home right now. Show her the TV studio. Show her how far you've come. And I was sobbing, girls, because I was like, that is an exercise I wish all of us did.
I want to do that. That
Yeah,
sounds
just sit there and
incredible.
visualize like who you were when you were younger and all these fears and all these childhood traumas or whatever that you had going on. And going up to her and visually seeing her and holding her is exactly what some of us need. And, you know, you always think you need that hug from someone else, but actually I needed it from me. And so I would say to her, there's going to be a lot of obstacles coming your way and you're going to have moments where you doubt humanity and you doubt people, but because of the faith that you gather in yourself and the confidence that you have shown to yourself, you will start to gain confidence in other people again and have faith in humanity again. And you're gonna do great, kid. That's what I'd say.
Beautiful.
Oh, I love that.
And move to Dubai because it really worked for you.
Yeah. Don't like friction with the move. Like definitely go to the UAE because it's the best place in the world. Yeah.
Oh, I love
say,
that.
come to Dubai, Habibi.
Yeah, exactly. Yalla, come to Dubai. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Nimi.
Thank
How
you.
do people follow you on your socials and find out about Speaker?
Yeah. So as my mum would say, TheNimiMehta on Instagram. Follow me. Speaker by Nimi Mehta on Instagram. It's also speakerbynimimehta.com on a website, and you can find out more. I share loads of like communication tips and things that can help in your everyday life. So yeah.
Incredible. Thank you. And
Thank you.
We will obviously tag you in all of our socials so our listeners can hear. And if you're listening and you don't follow us on Instagram, we are _podxb. And you can also watch this on YouTube. You can type in the People of Dubai and watch us.
Congrats, girls. Thank you so much for your time.
you.
Thank you so much for having me.